We begin with Metron. He appears before a primitive man. The human is terrified, but Metron tells him not to be afraid. He then grants him a fragment of knowledge and creates fire. That night, a primitive man attempts to take a red-haired girl from a village by force. The man who had earlier received the gift of fire arrives with the tribe, immediately sets the place ablaze, and then saves the girl. Now in the present, Turpin reflects that fire was humanity's first great mistake. They thought it would be a good idea to use it, but they always turned it into a weapon against one another. Turpin stands at the bay. He retired long ago, yet here he is, still chasing the trail of 6 missing kids. While investigating, he finds Orion gravely wounded in a junkyard. Turpin touches him. That was a mistake. Orion's body is burning hot. Orion rises and mutters, "They did not die. He is in all of you." After speaking, Orion collapses, dying beneath the skies, as the silhouette of the Black Racer appears. Suddenly, the heavens fill with black clouds and flashes of crimson lightning. Elsewhere, Green Lantern John Stewart receives a message from his ring. The emergency code is 1011. Unsure what it means, John takes to the streets. Turpin knows he doesn't belong in this battle, so he leaves the case to the intergalactic police. John calls for reinforcements. The ring informs him that Jordan has been alerted, but Hal's ring is not responding at the moment. Turpin meets with Renee Montoya. She tells him the 6 missing kids all share something in common. They were metahumans. Every clue points to one place, a site called the Darkseid Club. Meanwhile, Hal Jordan arrives to join John. The two stand together at the harbor over Orion's corpse. John explains that the ring broadcasted a 1011 code, something he had never heard before. Hal doesn't recognize it either. After inspecting Orion's body, Hal tells John to alert the Justice League while he reports to the Guardians of OA. Upon receiving the message, the Guardians order Earth to be sealed. No one enters, no one leaves. A 1011 alert demands extreme precautions, so they dispatch a specialized strike force to the planet. At a junkyard filled with mirrors sits Metron's chair. The new Titans arrive to seize it, only to be interrupted by Mirror Master and Dr. Light. The villains swiftly eliminate them, and Mirror Master transports the chair to an unknown location. Elsewhere, Lex Luthor attends a meeting of supervillains. The villains aim to claim total control of Earth, though some refuse to align with this alliance. Chief among the dissenters is Luthor himself. Libra then unveils a weapon meant to end the age of superheroes once and for all. It is time to put it to the test. For years, they've wanted the Martian Manhunter dead. To make their point clear, his fate will be recorded. Libra wields a spear engulfed in living flame and uses it to murder the Martian Manhunter. In New York, a tattooed man leads Turpin to the Darkseid Club. At the entrance, the Omega symbol is painted on the door. Turpin enters and is greeted by the leader himself, Darkseid. Turpin asks for a moment alone. Darkseid orders Calabac and Kanto to leave. Turpin demands to know what happened to the missing metahuman kids. Darkseid explains they were delivered to Granny Goodness. The greatest hope for humanity's future lies in its youth and their life force. Darkseid removes his glasses, revealing his blazing red eyes. He speaks of a war in the heavens, one he has won. The Dark Lord draws back a curtain, revealing the children. They are now slaves of Darkseid. He commands them to show Turpin what they have learned from the anti-life equation. Meanwhile, the Justice League convenes. Hal Jordan and John Stewart report Orion's death. They describe him as a new god, which means whoever killed him must be extraordinarily powerful. This could be a war between benevolent gods and dark ones. If that is true, more of them will soon arrive on Earth. Elsewhere, the Monitors watch over the heart of the multiverse. New Earth is the keystone of all existence. This is not the first time the multiverse has been thrust into crisis. Monitor Nix Uton must be punished for his negligence, which endangered the structure of countless worlds. He admits he arrived too late to save Earth. 51. Sabotage had already doomed it. The sentence is exile, stripped of his powers. He will no longer oversee a world. He will live as a mere mortal and one day die, feeding the cosmic order. Some oppose this ruling, multiversal monitors who see it as unjust. Nix vanishes, but before departing, he vows he will find his way back. He promises he will return to his beloved when least expected. Later, Nix awakens in the body of a human on Earth. He He feels as though he was judged by those super beings who once built a machine of parallel universes. Now he is sentenced to live here. Since awakening, he sometimes senses he belongs elsewhere. On television, the news reports the death of the Martian Manhunter. At the supervillains meeting, Lex Luthor isn't entirely convinced about using this weapon. The Martian had been an easy target, but if it can harm Superman, perhaps then he will take it more seriously. Libra asks him, if he wounds Superman, will Lex Luthor join their cause? Meanwhile, Wonder Woman reports to the Justice League. The Martian Manhunter is dead, and so is Orion. The League no longer has access to the telepathic link John Johns once provided. According to Batman's sources, the secret society swore vengeance on the Martian after he impersonated Blockbuster. This was an execution in pure organized crime style. As for Orion, Batman has asked Wally West to dig deeper. Hal Jordan's commanding officer is also present. She is Alpha Lantern Kraken. It's critical to work quickly on Orion's body before it sublimates back into the source. Unfortunately, they lack the technology to determine the cause of a god's death. Batman states Orion was shot. The internal trauma matches the patterns of an explosion. The only missing piece is the type of bullet. Alpha Lantern Kraken refuses to believe it. It's impossible, she argues, for a god to be shot without leaving behind a visible wound. Batman persists. That is why he sent John Stewart to the crime scene to search for the bullet. Kraken grows furious. Who is Batman to give orders to a Green Lantern when he holds no authority? The dispute escalates. Kraken orders Hal Jordan to withdraw from the area. At the scene of the crime, John Stewart does indeed discover the bullet Batman suspected. It carries traces of toxic and divine material. Suddenly, his ring ceases to function, and he is attacked. His own fellow Lanterns turn against him. Stripped of his ring's power, John Stewart is defeated with ease. Elsewhere, Hal Jordan is asleep at home when Alpha Lantern Kraken wakes him. She tells him he is under arrest for the murder of a new god and the attempted murder of a fellow Lantern. Jordan tries to summon the power of his ring, but it fails. Both his ring and his battery have been suspended pending investigation. No Lantern escapes the Alpha Lanterns. Hal Jordan is accused of leaving John Stewart critically injured. Dr. Midnight is assigned to provide the medical care needed for John to survive. Batman was never Hal Jordan's biggest supporter, but even he knows something is wrong. He prepares to speak with Kraken about Jordan, but before he can, Orion's body begins to decay. God's bodies vanish without leaving a trace. As for Hal Jordan, this isn't the first time he's been accused of madness. Once, he was possessed by Parallax, and countless lives were lost as a result. Then, without warning, something happens to Alpha Lantern Kraken. She cries out that something is eating her mind alive. Her weapons are useless. Batman grabs her by the arm and orders the Justice League Hall sealed. The Dark Knight calls for aid. Wonder Woman refuses. She cannot leave John Stewart's side. Dr. Midnight has already answered the distress call. He will arrive in precisely 35 seconds. Batman realizes Kraken is the one responsible for John Stewart's condition. Suddenly, Batman is attacked. The Dark Knight reflects that gods seemed more restrained when they lived among mortals. Inside the boom tube lies Granny Goodness's newest toy. Meanwhile, in Metropolis at the Daily Planet, reporters comment that the Martian Manhunter's death is a devastating blow. Lois Lane speaks with Jimmy Olsen. She hands him the data she has on the missing children. If he could download it, she would be most grateful. Superman notices something strange about Jimmy Olsen. That's because he is not Jimmy at all. He is Clayface. Suddenly, the building explodes. Superman grieves, fearing the worst for Lois Lane. Libra's promise has been fulfilled. He has succeeded in wounding Superman. Now, the Flashes gather, Jay Garrick included, along with Wally. Batman voices a wild theory, a bullet fired from the past, traveling through time. That is what Wally is investigating. Jay Garrick despises time travel tricks like this. Before them stands the Mobius chair. When touched, it unleashes a storm of lightning. Perhaps Garrick's body triggered a reaction. This is where the bullet entered the time stream. The projectile traveled across time and killed Orion. Strange vibrations ripple through the air. Jay Garrick recognizes them. After so long, after so many years, Barry Allen emerges from a portal, pursued by the Black Racer. The God Killer bullet is here too. Everyone runs. The Flash tries to catch the bullet. They are racing backward through time in its wake, running against death itself, faster than words can travel. In the end, they cannot stop the bullet. The bullet strikes Orion. Batman's theory about a time-displaced bullet was real. Here we are, back at the very moment where it all began. Orion falls, and in the skies only the Black Racer remains. Jay Garrick cannot continue the chase. He injures his knee and is forced to stop. The Black Racer pursues Wally and Barry through the Speed Force. At Metropolis Hospital, Clark is deeply worried for Lois Lane. She is in bad shape, but not in danger of dying. He may be Superman, but right now he doesn't care about Earth's other problems. Lois needs her husband by her side. Elsewhere, Wonder Woman knows the situation looks grim. The Alpha Lanterns have taken Hal Jordan before the Guardians. A new god has been killed, Superman sits at his wounded wife's bedside, and finally, no one knows where Batman has gone. They all know Jordan is innocent, yet he must answer before the Guardians. The evil gods, specifically Darkseid, are behind it all. The only choice is to recruit new heroes. Later, Alan Scott stands before those who will rise against the dark gods. He tells them he is proud of each of them. Now they must see if any enemy can stand against them. Time passes, and Wonder Woman has continued her investigation. She refuses to stop until she finds Darkseid, certain he is the one responsible. Her search leads her to Mary, who is possessed. Mary reveals that Darkseid has been on Earth for some time, hiding within human bodies. In 5 minutes, the anti-life equation will be global. Wonder Woman 2 will fall to Darkseid's will. After all, a delivery system is required, and Diana will carry the infection. Elsewhere, Wally and Barry stop. Wally asks what is happening. It seems they ran several weeks into the future. Barry explains they could not save Orion. His murder had already taken place. So why is he dead? Why did I have to return? And what have they done to the world? Suddenly, Wonder Woman appears, leading a twisted army behind her. This is the end for the superheroes. Across the globe, Earth's inhabitants receive the same message broadcast across every medium. The anti-life equation is aligning. Over 1 billion people are contaminated in the first wave. Some heroes have vanished, others are off-world, the Green Lanterns among them. Only one lantern remains who can help, Alan Scott. Every available hero must pay attention. They have little time before the transmission is intercepted and corrupted. Earth has become the target of gods, beings with powers and abilities never before seen. They wield experimental genetic technology in the Bloodhaven facilities, splicing animals and humans to create hybrid soldiers. Their very presence bends time and twists the mind. But it is not over yet. Heroes with powers capable of resisting this threat gather together. Back with Wally and Barry, Wonder Woman arrives with Darkseid's new furies. Barry says Darkseid is falling, dragging the universe down with his descent. A battle begins. Barry and Wally manage to tie Giganta's legs, sending her crashing from afar. Wonder Woman hurls a spear, but fails to strike them. The Flashes escape, confused. They only know this figure looked like Wonder Woman. The multiverse is collapsing. They must save everything, starting with family. The battle nears its end. The heroes fight desperately, but it seems impossible to win. The more infected appear, the slimmer their chances. Darkseid dons his crown and lowers his thumb. With this gesture, he summons a never-ending day of Holocaust. Meanwhile, on the planet Oe, Hal Jordan is accused of conspiracy to overthrow the laws of Oe. Alpha Lantern Kraken claims he is host to a malignant psychic parasite. According to own law, this is undeniable. Hal denies it. If it is true, then they must prove it. Kraken insists that the wound on her head was inflicted by Orion before his death. The Guardians know Hal is a valuable officer. They must weigh the evidence carefully. Kyle Rayner and Guy Gardner arrive to defend their friend. Gardner argues the wound on Kraken's head is an implant meant to frame him. The Alpha Lantern is working for Darkseid, and she was the one who attempted to kill John Stewart. Kraken reveals her true identity. No one can hide from Darkseid's judgment. Framing Hal Jordan was far too easy. Now she moves to seize the central power battery, the very source of the Lantern's might. The Guardians call for it to be defended at any cost. If Darkseid gains control, he will be unstoppable. With this, Kraken would once more be his favored servant. Because the Alpha Lanterns can drain power rings, they begin dismantling the core with ease. The Guardians initiate the Chrono Protocol to prevent catastrophe. Kraken prepares to claim the battery, but Hal Jordan breaks free of captivity. He knows this is not Kraken, and she must be stopped to clear her mind. Jordan knocks her unconscious. The power battery vanishes. The Chrono Protocol dictates that when the battery is under attack, it hides until the danger passes. The skirmish ends, but the true war begins. This is Earth's Day of Judgment. If Darkseid wounds the center of the universe, fissures will spread across every sector. The Guardians order Earth's defense. They have 24 hours before everything is destroyed. On the front lines, the heroes gather. Shazam, Black Adam, Supergirl, Jon Stewart, and others prepare for battle in the skies. Mary approaches, ready to strike Supergirl. Before she can, Black Adam ambushes her, slamming her into the ground and striking her mercilessly. Shazam begs him to stop. If you continue, you'll kill her. But Black Adam growls that is exactly what he intends to do. Shazam pleads, she is possessed. Mary seizes the distraction, grabbing a car and smashing Black Adam with it, knocking him unconscious. Mary stands with the new gods. She then hurls Black Adam into Shazam, temporarily knocking him out of the fight after a brutal strike. Elsewhere, the former Monitor Nyx is imprisoned in a cell. This is because he could not be infected with the anti-life equation, and so he has been isolated. Another being in the same room tells him it is all his fault, since he was the one who invoked all of this. Nyx responds that everyone is going to die. The superheroes won't be able to save everything. If the heroes do nothing, then who will help? What about this girl? Nyx says she is just someone he dreamed of and sketched, knowing she wasn't real. Yet now he remembers, she is real, and he knows her name. She is his beloved. It is time to unleash nightmares upon those who refuse to submit to the anti-life equation. Something is not right. The hooded figure produces a cube and slaughters those who try to take him away. Reality shifts, and the Monitor Nyx returns to his true self. Elsewhere, Supergirl and Jon Stewart know they need heavier weaponry if they are to win this war. We turn to Darkseid, who receives news. Batman has escaped. No living being can resist the power of a new god. Humanity has only imagined what it means to face a god. Now that God has incarnated among them, all are one through Darkseid. In battle, Mary is pummeling Black Adam. Supergirl arrives to defend him, striking Mary from behind. Mary counters with a knee to Kara, who retaliates with her freezing breath. Shazam realizes he has an idea. It may drain all his remaining magic, but he can stop her. Shazam rises and tells Kara to leave Mary to him. He seizes Mary. This time, he hopes his lightning is strong enough to transform them both. And it works. They regain their true forms. Mary, horrified, asks what she has done. She never wanted any of this. Meanwhile, with the Flashes, Barry has a plan. He just needs Jay Garrick to arrive to set it in motion. With it, they can stop Darkseid. Garrick arrives, ready. The plan is to use the Black Racer, who will soon return. If Barry cannot manage it, then Wally will take over. Wally recalls meeting him as the Black Flash and once defeating him in a race. Barry bets he can do it again. The Black Racer will soon appear, and they intend to use him. Darkseid sits in the center of a singularity, in a place beyond the reach of light. To reach him, they must run faster than they ever have before. Elsewhere, Darkseid confronts Batman, saying he had been waiting for him to show himself, to step out of the shadows and accept that the equation has been proven. Batman tells him he should never have shot Orion. Darkseid insists it was Orion's destiny to fall in the final battle. The Dark Knight knows that Path wounded Darkseid as well. Now he exists in a broken shell. Long ago, Batman swore never to wield firearms. But tonight, he will make one exception. One weapon, one bullet. The bullet is forged of radion, poison to Darkseid. Batman had recovered the bullet that killed Orion in order to study it. Darkseid asks if he can escape the Omega Sanction. Death is life. Batman fires the bullet. At the same instant, Darkseid unleashes his Omega beams, striking Batman in the chest and head. Batman's shot lands, but the price is steep. The Dark Knight falls, killed by Darkseid, who is now mortally wounded by the bullet Batman fired. Superman arrives, able only to cradle the body of his closest friend. Superman stands before Darkseid. The tyrant sneers that Superman turned his back on humanity. Darkseid shattered his world. stole his people and their hope. What will you do, Superman, when all the world belongs to Darkseid? If every human is bound to him, then Superman becomes the enemy of all existence. Superman seizes him by the throat and demands to know what he has done. Darkseid tells him to kill him, so that every human bound to him will die as well. Kill Darkseid, and you kill them all. If Superman cannot overcome him, then he must join Batman. But is the Man of Steel ready to face the Omega Beams? At that very moment, Barry and Wally arrive before Darkseid. He cannot believe the Black Racer is here as well. But the Black Racer comes for everyone, even the Dark God. John Stewart had discovered the bullet Darkseid fired back through time. Batman used it to wound him fatally. The Furies arrive, and Wonder Woman proclaims that Darkseid is peace, that all must kneel. Libra's armies pour in, but Lex Luthor intervenes, declaring that Libra was never the anti-life equation. Now Lex commands his own army of supercriminals, seizing mental control of them. Wonder Woman breaks free from anti-life's control. She binds Darkseid's body with the lasso of truth, chaining the god of evil without harm to anyone else. But the question remains, how will it all be resolved? Superman has devoted every resource and all his knowledge into constructing the miracle machine. With it, he has the chance to make a wish. Until Superman solves this, it is as though Darkseid has already won, for his essence still lingers. The Man of Steel explains that the worlds of the multiverse vibrate together, sounding like a great orchestra. Everything is resonating. And there is something many do not know about Darkseid. He hates music. Superman uses the precise frequency to unravel him. The Dark God is destroyed, but restoration is still needed. Superman continues building the miracle machine, only to be interrupted by the Monitor Mandrake. The new god left this world broken, wounded, and defenseless, abandoned to the darkness where Mandrake dwells. The destruction wrought by Darkseid has cast the universe into this void. Here, there is no light, no spark. For the miracle machine to work, Superman must die screaming and writhing in the arms of his master. But Superman offers a better deal. He is a solar battery, storing energy in his cells. With his remaining power, he will activate the miracle machine to make his wish. Thanks to Metron, Nyx once again regains his place as a universal monitor, arriving at the crucial moment to join the hero's final stand. Superman's signal is received by the monitors. Behind him stands an army, every Superman of the multiverse. A team of heroes fueled by the sun, so extraordinary they can only gather once. And the Green Lanterns have come as well. Mandrake cannot believe they have been united. The Supermen unleash their heat vision. Hal Jordan drives a stake into his heart. Earth has survived another crisis. The planetary damage from Darkseid's fall is under repair. And perhaps you are wondering, what did Superman wish for? He wished for the best outcome for everyone. He wished for a happy ending. Everything was restored. But what of Batman? What was the Dark Knight's happy ending? Somewhere else, in a primordial cave, Bruce appears, carving the symbol of the bat onto the stone. Thank you very much for watching this video. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe for more content like this. I'm TJ Prime, and see you in the next video.